Hello everyone. So welcome to today is Wednesday. So welcome to Wednesday's lesson. This is going to be the lesson for you for 15th of April. Sorry for the confusion because even I'm not aware of the days and the dates because I just stay at home and sleep and eat. That's all. And what you all are doing, I guess the same thing, right? Browse, eat, sleep, and watch TV. That's what everyone is doing these days. Okay. So I hope yesterday's lesson was clear for you. So before we start, again, let's quickly revise the formula for area of trapezoid. A trapezoid's area is equal to half multiplied by base 1 plus base 2, which should be inside the parenthesis, multiplied by h. Now you will have to remember all these four formulas because they are very, very important in geometry. Okay, so before I finished the video yesterday, I told you to do question number 4, 5, and then homework page question number 2, 3, 4, but it was 5 questions, but they were very easy. I hope most of you have done. So let's check the homework before we start doing the classwork for today. Okay, so I have shifted from that screen to this because I want to work with the half. That's okay. Okay, so this is the formula. As usual, always you need to be writing the formula before you start anything. So in the next part, what we are going to do is in this formula, we are going to just substitute the values, right? So that's going to be half multiplied by the base 1, which is the first upper part. So base 1 is 21, right? And base 2 is 17 multiplied by the height, which is 14. So first, what are you going to do? All we have to do is always solve this 2 first, right? So once you solve 21 plus 17, how much is 21 plus 17? 21 plus 17 is going to give you 38. And then you will, then up to you what you want to do, whether you want to find out half of 38 or half of 7, up to you, whichever way you want to find out. There is no issue at all. I'm just trying to delete this. Okay, let it be 38. Half multiplied by 38 multiplied by 14. So I guess finding half of 14 is easier. Up to you. Even half of 38 is 19. All of us know that. So up to you, however you want to find. So I have found half of 14, which is 7. Okay, so I will not be needing this half because I've already found out half of 14 is 7. So I also don't need this. So in this place, it's 38 multiplied by, what's the b do? Okay, multiplied by 7. How did it become 7? Because I already multiplied half of 14. Half of 14 is 7. So 7 multiplied by 37 is going to give you how much? Is the equal sign. Okay. So 7 8s are 56, right? So you will carry 5 to the other side. 7 3s are 21 plus 5 is going to give you 26, and 7 8s are 56. So 38 multiplied by 7 is going to give you 266. But again, we have to be very sure about the units finally which we are writing. So that has to be in square inches because all of the units are given in inches. So that's going to be square inches. Okay, so this is how you are going to be writing the answer. You're going to be finding the form area. Okay, now moving to question number 5. Again, that's going to be the same formula. Always start by writing. I forgot the A in fact. I was thinking, what did I forget? I forgot the A. Okay, A equals half multiplied by b1 plus b2 multiplied by h. So the same formula again. We are just going to replace the values. So half is already here. Again, I forgot to write the a, which is very important because we are finding the area. We cannot just leave it like that. Okay. So area is equal to half multiplied by the base 1, that's the upper one, that's 2.8. So in place of b1, I'm writing 2.8, and base 2, which is this one, it is going to be 9.2. So in place of base 2, I'm going to write 9.2 multiplied by the height is going to be 4. Okay, so this is the formula which you are going to solve. So what's the next step? Of course, you have to be solving all this at once. At once in the sense, before you solve, you will have to solve what's inside the brackets first, right? So inside the brackets, we have 2.8 plus 9.2. So how much is 8 2.8 plus 9.2. I'm solving this one. That's going to give you 12. Okay, so 12 multiplied by 4. Now up to you, you want to find half of 12 or half of 4, whichever is easy for you. So this time, to make it easy for me, I will find out half of 12. Half of 12 is how much? Half of 12 is going to be 6. So 12 and a half will go away. That will be replaced by 6 multiplied by 4. Okay, 6 multiplied by 4. So your answer has to be A is equal to, why did the A go there? Okay. A is equal to, I'll try to do it here. A is equal to 24. Now again, don't forget to write the unit. So that's going to be in meters because everything is in meters. So you will have square meters. Okay, so the answer for number 5 is 24 square meters. Okay, let's move on to question number 2 on the homework page. Don't mind that question, it doesn't want to stay in one place. So I'll just do this. Okay, now which question am I doing? I am doing this question. Question number 2, 3, and 4. So I'll be doing question number 2, 3, and 4. So this is question number 2. As again, the same formula. I don't have to keep repeating. You will also get irritated. No, I have kept repeating many times. So start with this. Okay, so all you have to do is replace the formula again. So when you replace, half will be half, b1 will become 5.5, and b2, that's base 2, will become 6.5, multiplied by height is going to be 5. Okay, so the next step is solve the parenthesis first, as we follow the order of operation always. So 5.5 plus 6.5 is going to give you 12 multiplied by 5. So which is easy, either half of 12, you will find half of 12 or half of 5. Both are easy. I will make it more easy for me by finding half of 12. So half of 12 is going to be 6. So all these things will not be there. All what will be remaining is 6 and 5. Why 6 multiplied by 5? Because half of 12 is 6. So 6 multiplied by 5 is going to give you 30. Right? So the answer for this is going to be A is equal to 30. Which unit are we going to use? Square feet, because these all are in feet. So you will have to write it as 30 square feet. Okay, so I hope all this is clear for you. Next is question number 3 again. I'm not writing the formula. Oops. Okay, let me just copy it. Copy the formula. I will write it. Ooh, why is this much space here? Okay, however, copy. Okay, delete one because you see how difficult it is. Okay, let me move this down. Why doesn't it want to come down? Okay, so the formula again, all what I will do is I will only replace the numbers. B1 is 0.2, so 0.2, and the B2, that's base 2, is 0.6. Now you have to be very careful because these are decimals. So 0.6 multiplied by, again, the height is given to be 0.2. Now what's the next thing you're going to do? Or you will solve this 2 first. So that is going to give you 0.8. 0.6 plus 0.2 is going to give you 0.8. So I will only have 0.8. Now again, either you find out half of 0.8 or half of 0.2. Half of 0.8 is 0.4. Half of 0.2 is 0.1. This is why I keep telling you, you should be perfect in mental math, because these all things you don't need to write and then solve. It's too much time confusing. Even if you want to write and solve, you just divide 0.8 by 2. So you will have 0.4, else 0.2 by 2, it will give you 0.1. So you finally what I'm going to do is I will not have these. Okay, I will find out the half of 0.8. So half of 0.8 is 0.4. Now you have to be extra careful when you're multiplying 0.4 with 0.2, because you have to count the decimals, because 2 multiplied by 4 will give you 8. Okay, and however you multiply the zeros, 0 will keep giving you 0, right? So all what you need to do is place the decimals very, very, very carefully. So how are you going to solve 0.2 by 0.4 by 0.2? That's going to give you 2 4s are 8, correct? Right, area is equal to, okay, first let's multiply this two. 2 4s are 8. Okay, then in front, what is there? 0. So in front, of course, there should be 0, right? How many zeros are there? 1 2. So let's put 2 zeros. Now from 0.2 to 0.4, now if you have arranged it, you will know from one decimal point to the other how many decimal places you need to move. You will have to move 2. So the same here, it's 1 2. So you place the decimal point here, and then don't forget to write the unit. So that's going to be square 0.08 square centimeter. Okay, now this is what this question is a little bit twisted in the sense they have just turned the picture upside down, nothing else. See, if I rotate it, you will see what the picture is about. The height is 10, the base is 5, and the other base is 2.5. That's all they have done. Rather, they have drawn the picture like this. Nothing else they have done. So again, you have to be extra careful here, because again, you're going to be multiplying with fractions. So when you're multiplying with fractions, you know the rules to be used, right? Where did it go there? Okay, so rules always. So what are we going to do? We will just replace base 1 as I showed you when I rotated. Base 1 was 2.5, right? So we have to write, oops, what happened? I'll just write here half. That's going to be something happened. Okay, so in place of base 1, I will put the fraction of 2.5. So that's going to be 2 and half. Okay, remove this and write 1. Okay, now what's base 2? Base 2 is going to be 5, and what's the height? Height is going to be 10. Now if you're still confused, I'll just put it back again. So you can see now the height is 10, base 1 is 2.5. You will have to rotate your neck a bit. That's a good exercise for your neck. And base 2 is 5. Okay, so bring the picture back. Fine. So let's solve it. Now solving is going to be the same. You will have to add 2.5 plus 5. Now this is easy addition, girls. It's nothing difficult. 2.5 plus 5 is going to give you how much? You only add this 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. Right? So 7 plus half is going to give you 7.5. This is again mental math. Right? So okay. Let me add the a here. Fine. So here instead of this, you will have 7.5, because 2.5 plus 5 is going to give you 7.5. Now you need to, of course, work all this. Either you find half of 10, that's I guess more easier, or half of 7.5, whichever is easy for you. If you're finding half of 7.5, fine, go ahead and then multiply it by 10. Or you find half of 10, that's half multiplied by 10. Half of 10 is how much? 5, and then you multiply it with 7.5. However you want. If you're smart, very smart, go ahead and multiply half and 7.5. That will give you one number, and then multiply it by 10. But to make work more easier for me, I don't want to waste the time now by just multiplying all that. What happened? Okay, all what I'm going to do is I will replace this with 5, because I already found half of 10 is 5, and then I will have to multiply 2.5 with 5. So how much is 2.5? Sorry, 7.5. How much is 7.5 multiplied by 5? 5 sevens are 35, right? So let's write it as You see how many copyings and pastings I have to do? It's teaching on the board is much easier. Okay, so 5 sevens are going to be 35 and half is going to be half. So your answer is going to be 37 and 30. Oops, wait. You cannot do it like this. First, let's change this. 2 sevens are 14 plus 1 is 15. Sorry for that because I was thinking that's a whole number, whereas it is 7.5. So let's change this. 2 sevens are 14 plus 1 is 15 over 2. Okay, that's going to be multiplied by 5. Where is this moving? Okay, that's going to be multiplied by 5. So literally 5 means it's going to be 5 over 1. Okay, so I know this will confuse you, but write it properly. So that's going to be 5 over 1. Now all what you need to do is multiply this too. So how much are you going to get if you multiply that? 5 15s are going to give you how much? 5 15s are going to give you 75 and 2 ones are going to give you 2. Now you will have to divide 75 by 2. Now if you divide 75 by 2 in the other way which we do, you will have to put 75 inside and 2 outside. So you will be getting the answer 37.5 or 37.5 square inches. Okay, so that's going to be 37.5 or 37.5 square inches. So I hope these answers all what you got was right. So let's move on to the lesson which we left out yesterday. Now, that's going to be the same, but only that they will ask you to find the height or the base of hopefully it's height. Okay. Question number 2. The area of the trapezoid is 45 feet square feet. Find the height of the trapezoid. So they have given you both the bases and then you will have to find the height. So let's go back and let me clear this out all. Okay. This is going to be question number 2 for you. The area. So again, as usual, you will have to, of course, write the formula and then start it. So let me write the formula first for you. Okay, so formula. Okay, formula is going to be the same. What you're going to do is leave everything. You will replace the A with 45, okay, and base 1 with 8, and base 2 with 10, and then we will have to find the height. So as usual, what's the first thing you're going to do? Of course, you have to add these two first. So once you add them, what are you going to be getting? You will be getting, so 8 plus 10 will give you 18. Okay, so what's the next step? You will have to find what's the half of 18. Half of 18 is going to give you 9, right? So that means 9 multiply h equals 45. Now you know what to do because it's multiply. You will have to, of course, divide 45 by 9. So how much is 45 divided by 9? That's going to give you how much? 45 divided by 9 is going to give you 45 divided by 9. Now mentally let's do it. I don't think you will be needing any. So h is going to be equal to 5. Now I have no idea why the font became so small. Okay, so h is going to be 5, and what's the unit they were using? They are using okay, wait, there is something wrong. So okay, Okay, I hope the screen was there for you before. Now this, if it was not there, quickly let me explain it, because you would have only heard my voice because the screen was not showing. This was question number 2. Okay, so you have to find the height. All what you have to do is, in the same formula, you will just replace the numbers and leave the number which we don't know. So here we don't know the height. It was 8, base 1 was 8, and base 2 was 10. So 8 plus 10 is 18. Half of 18 is 9. So you will have to divide 45 by 9. You will find the answer to be 45 divided by 9 will give you 5. Why did we divide 45 by 9? Because it's multiply. So to find h, we have to do the opposite of multiply. Opposite of multiply is divide. So 45 divided by 9 will give you 5. And the unit is feet, because the answer is, the base is given to be in feet. So the height also has to be in feet. I hope you understood this part. So let's move to question number 6. So let me do this question for you. Okay. Question number 6. So this is question number 6. Okay, so all that you have to do is always start by writing the formula. The formula is very, very important. Now I'm not writing because I have enough copy pasted the formula. I'm just, for my easiness, I'm just pasting the old one. Okay, there is half is equal to a is equal to half multiplied by b1 plus b2 multiplied by h. So here I will just replace the numbers. Area is given to be 500. Okay, base 1 is given to be 12.5 and base 2 is given to be 27.5 multiplied by h, which we have to find. So what's the first thing you're going to do? The first thing you have to be doing is solve what's inside the parenthesis. So how much is 12.5 plus 27.5? That's going to give you how much? Mental math. 40. 12.5 plus 27.5 is going to give you 40. Now you will have to find what's half of 40. What is half of 40? Half of 40 is going to be 20, right? So we will remove all that and just write half of 40 is 20. So 20 multiplied by h. How do we find h? It's 20 multiplied by h. So to find the answer, of course, we have to divide 500 by 20. How much is 500 divided by 20? It's mental math again. It's zeros, so you can cancel the zeros. Then you are left with how many? 50 divided by 2. So how much is 50 divided by 2? That's going to give you, so the height is going to be 25 inches, because the question, the other measurements all are in inches, so the height is also going to be in inches. I hope this part is clear for you. Okay, and I will not be doing any more questions regarding the height because you have enough questions in the homework. So let's move on to do the everyone's favorite problem solving. Okay, now let me choose an easy one for you. Okay. Shall we do this? Okay, a baseball home plate can be divided into two trapezoids. So if you see this, this is one of the trapezoid and this is another trapezoid with the dimensions shown in the drawing. Okay, find the area of the home plate. So if you see, it's like two trapezoids. That's all. So we find the area of one and then multiply it by 2. That's all. So as usual, we have the height and we have the bases, but this is because two trapezoids are together. That's why it's looking confusing. Okay, we don't have to do anything with this part because we are not concerned at all about that part. All that we need to do is find the area of each trapezoid. So to find the area, here if you see, they have given the complete height. Okay, now we cannot do anything with the complete height. First, let me copy paste this one. Okay, so that will be easy for us to work with. Let me go to a new page. Okay, so this is the picture given to us. All what we are going to do is we have to find the height of one trapezoid. So if you see, okay, let me show you how much of I can. I'm trying to make it clear for you. Here's the crop. Okay, let me just crop this picture and show you what they are talking about. Is okay, I don't think I'll be successful in cropping the picture. Okay, see this? This is what they are talking about. So what they want you to do is they want you to find the area of one, and the other part was similar to the same. So you will add the area twice, or you will multiply the area by 2. The only problem was the whole length height was given to be 17. See, I'll put the picture back. See, the whole length is given to be, height is given to be 17. How do you find the height of only this part? Of course, 17 divided by 2, because we want to find the half. So how much is 17 divided by 2? First, let's find out the height. 17 divided by 2, again, is girls the mental math, right? So height of, okay, so first let's write the height of one trapezoid. So 17 divided by 2 is going to give you 8.5. So the height of one trapezoid is 8.5. Okay, and the base, one of the bases is 8.5. So let's write them down so that it will not confuse us when we start doing the questions. So base 1 is 8.5. Okay, and base 2 is 17. And then we have all the information. So all that we have to do is only to find the area. So again, the formula is going to be same, girls. I'm not going to like keep repeating that. So the formula is half, right? I'm now tired of saying the formula. So let me write it down. So that's going to be half multiplied by, yeah, I can hear teacher, you forgot to write a. Okay, so the brackets 8.5 multiplied by, plus 17, which is base 2, close the bracket, and then again multiply by height is 8.5. So we have to solve all of these. So to solve all of these, of course, we have to use our brain more and more and more. Okay, so always, as usual, we solve the brackets first, the parentheses first. So how much is a 17 plus 8.5? 17 plus 8.5 is going to give you 25.5. 25.5, because 7 plus 17 plus 8 is 25, and 0.5 will give you, there's a 0.5. Okay, so now either you find half of 25.5 or half of 8.5, or either you can multiply 8.5 by 25.5 and then find out the and then divide by 2 and find out the answer. Now this is anyhow going to be the area of one trapezoid. So I think multiplying 25.5 and then by 8.5 and then dividing by 2 is going to be way more easier. So how much is 25.5 divided multiplied by 8.5? That's going to give you 216.75. Okay, so 216.75, let me put the fraction. It's so small. Okay, 216.75. How did I get 216.75? I have multiplied 25.5 by 8.5. So this is the area. Now, how this will give you 216.75 divided by 2 is going to give you 108. That will give you 108.375. Okay, now once you have 108.375, this is the area of one trapezoid. This is the area of one of the trapezoids. Now we need to find the area of two trapezoids. So what are we going to do? We will multiply this by 2. That's all we will do. So 108.375. Why are we multiplying by 2? Because we have two trapezoids. We only found out the area of one. Area of 1 was 108.375. So to find both, we will either add it again or multiply that by 2. So once you multiply 108.375 by 2, you will get 216.75, and the answer should be in square inches. Okay, so this is going to be the answer. Area, this is going to be the area of home plate. That's what they're saying it is. Area of the home plate is going to be 216.75 square inches. It's not difficult, only that we have to understand the picture. Okay, if you would have followed each and everything I'm telling, you will understand what we have done. Okay, now quickly moving to question number 12. Now it's a think smarter question. It's not. Which expression can be used to find the area of trapezoid? Mark all that apply. Okay, so here is the base 1, here is base 2, and here is the height. So which one can we choose? Is it A, B, C, or D? Let's check. Half multiplied by 4. 4 is the height. But according to the formula, it should be base 1 plus base 2, which should be 1.5 plus 3.5. So which one is that? This one. It's going to be B, right? And what else? They said mark all that apply means there is something else too. There is some another answer too. So is it 4 plus 3.5? How can it be 4 when the base 1 is 1.5? Okay, let's move to this. How did they get 5 here? Did they add 1.5 plus 3.5? Yes, they have simplified and then given you the answer there. So it's going to be B and D. Okay, so that's all was the lesson for today. I know I didn't give you some time to solve the questions by yourself. It's okay. So your homework is going to be question number 5, 6 on page 561 and question number 1 and 2 on the next page. So until I meet you in tomorrow's video, keep studying and stay safe.